What did you think of the Batman?
First time in a theater post-pandemic. It was a terrible experience theater-wise. They weren't ready. The trash was taken out. They're like making the popcorn as we were like waiting. So
Where'd you see it at?
I'm not going to name drop the place in case I go back.
What area?
St. Louis.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
It's a place I might go back, but it was just kind of like certain things weren't open, certain things weren't available. But I mean, I guess that's where we are right now. I mean, I haven't been in a while. Maybe that's how it is. But it goes by fast. It's very dark. It's very depressing. It's kind of more of like the comic book theme. There's like narration to it. There's a graphic novel called The Long Halloween, which I have, and that's more with Two-Face, but it's still they're like more the style where they kind of like those journal entries and stuff. But it's Penguin, the Riddler, Catwoman, Falcone, who is in the comic books but hasn't really been featured. That's John Turturro, awesome actor, big John Turturro fan. Penguin's Colin Farrell in a fat suit. Catwoman Zoe Kravitz, and the Riddler. I don't know who that is. I've never seen him
Paul
Dano. Huh?
Paul Dano.
Okay, yeah.
He was in. Somebody. He was only in a couple. He was in that one movie about the porn star or escort. God dang, not 51st Port. Shoot, what was the name of that movie with Elisha Kubrith? Anyway, he's been in a couple. Girl Next Door.
Oh,
Girl Next Door.
It's good though. It's the Riddler. They make the Riddler like a terrifying serial killer. Yeah, and the Catwoman character, they make it really interesting. And it's more like someone wrote in the comments. I'm not engaging anymore in comments as we talked about earlier. The guy did his homework, and he did do his homework. Like he didn't just make some Batman movie without any knowledge of Batman. Robert Pattinson, like in the Batman suit, looks fine, but as like Bruce Wayne, like in a suit, like playing Bruce Wayne, he kind of doesn't give that vibe. But it wasn't like offensive or like I hated him because it wasn't that bad. But he just like Bruce Wayne, like long matty, like weird hair. It's just like I don't know. That's not how I picture Bruce Wayne. I think like Christian Bale, Michael Keaton are more on par of like your traditional Bruce Wayne. Kind of person.
And I actually thought, unpopular opinion, I thought Ben Affleck was a really good Bruce Wayne.
I would say Bruce Wayne, but not Batman.
No, but not Batman. No.
Yeah.
But I thought he was like a really good, just like older version of Bruce Wayne. He had the look, but that movie was just pure garbage.
I mean, if you want to, escape the doom and gloom, I don't know if that's the movie for you because it's pretty doom and gloom. It's pretty dark. I mean, if you thought Nolan was dark, this is Nolan's sunshine compared to this. Nolan's a cartoon compared to this. It's pretty dark. Like it's PG-13. Like I mean, I don't think they probably had no bad words or any sexual stuff in it, but like it was pretty like morbid kind of. I don't know.
So I need to watch it again, but my take on it is it was good. It was a complete 180 from the alien fighting CGI fest of the last Batmans. It wasn't even a standalone, but all the Ben Affleck Batmans, which wasn't fair. I wanted to see that Batman in a standalone movie without the fucking aliens and all that shit. I felt like he made a good Batman. Besides, like the big old puffy suit that that just wasn't. They messed up, whoever that was. So of course, course correction, you do a complete 180 and you do a complete basic, no backstory, emo version of Batman, so in the comics, is he like that? Bruce Wayne like that?
I don't know. He's different like every time. Every different comic book I read is portrayed differently.
But that was probably I don't read the comics, but that was like a complete reimagining of Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Like you said, it wasn't bad. It didn't bother me. It just wasn't. It's almost like you didn't know what movie you were watching at the time. It almost felt like a crime movie with Batman guest starring or something.
But it was a complete reimagining of the Riddler too, though.
Yeah, almost. Well, even the Penguin. Like he was basically just a mob guy. Like he had no cartoon.
They kind of make them that they make them that in the comic books too, like like a lobster.
So you just strip all like the cartoony, no pun intended with the cartoon with the comic, but they strip all the cartoon aspect out of the whole thing. They make it look as realistic as possible.
One, that was really dark. That was like Tim Burton.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and I felt like it was too long. I like my movies long, but I don't, maybe because I saw it late. Like I didn't get out of there till like midnight or 11:30 on a Monday, and it was just like, what was it? There's 3 villains. Yeah, there's 3 villains. There's Penguin, Falcone, and Riddler. So as soon as they busted Falcone, it's Falcone, right?
Or Falcone.
Falcone. How do they pronounce Falcone? So Falcone. And then as soon as they busted him, like, oh my God, they still have to busted Riddler. This is gonna be at least another hour.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man. And it was just like, and then after that, I mean, it's general storytelling. It can't be all ups. Like I think as soon as they busted him, Falcone, then like just like the energy just dropped for like 20 minutes. And it's like, oh my God. So I feel like they could have just tidied that up a little bit. But then the climax, the flood and all that was pretty gnarly. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. They made a real big catastrophe without having aliens or some monster or something like that. So I feel like that was really well done. And then it was almost like they like the Riddler was like Jigsaw, like every little thing he did, which and like everything, like he had like the head thing on with the bomb and all that other stuff. So it was like Saw. It was like a combination, like a bunch of like Saw, gangster movies, and Batman. So it was definitely interesting. I enjoyed it.
It was like 7, kind of. You seen 7?
Yeah.
It was like 7, kind
of. The score was good, but I felt like the theme was repeated way too much.
I liked it though.
I liked it too. Okay, so even in the theaters, I'm like, man, it's because the theme's only 2. It's like 2 notes.
Yeah, I know.
Boom, boom, boom. Even in the movie, I'm like, all right. By the 2.5 hours, like, let's change it up a little bit. That was just like, and then I listened to the soundtrack. It's the same, like every song has got that. Like, all right, let's like, it's add more than 2 notes. I did like it though. It was basically they took those 2 notes from the Nirvana song, which everybody knows now. I mean, I knew that. So you probably knew that song too, way before. So that was an interesting choice. That was basically what they wrote that Bruce Wayne character off of, was Kurt Cobain.
Huh.
So I liked it. I don't think it was better than Nolan's films, or at least the Dark Knight. I don't think it touches the Dark Knight, in my opinion. I feel like the Dark Knight combined the realistic, no aliens, nothing like that, but also had a lot of real action, no CGI, or a little bit of minimal CGI. The only thing that I even to this day, I just really wish that Christian Bale picked a different Batman voice, because I feel like that like hinders the film so much. It's like so over the top.
I would say The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight with Bane, and this are like the top 3 Batmans.
I don't even think the Bane one was that good.
I did.
Have you rewatched that?
Not consciously. No.
I watched it in the theaters and I thought it was good, but I rewatched it and I think there was a lot of cutting involved, because just like a lot of scenes just cut way too quick and it didn't flow very well. And I've noticed a lot of Nolan movies are like that. There's not a good flow to them because they're long enough. So if Nolan movies are probably 4 hours long and they have to cut them down, or 3 hours or whatever, and they have to cut them down for time. So I rewatched it and I just feel like it jumped around a lot, and a lot of things didn't make sense, and the whole broken back thing. And I mean, it's a comic book film. It doesn't all have to make sense, but
well, that's based off a comic book too, The Broken Back. But in the comic book, Bane blows up Arkham Asylum, and every villain, the Riddler, the Joker, everyone gets out. And Batman has to go and like fight them all, and at the end he fights Bane, and when he's weak, Bane breaks his back. Yeah. That wasn't in the movie. That would have been a great movie, like, but that's
well, he did break his back, but he survived. But Bane did break Batman's back.
Also, in the comic book, Bane had tubes that he would like juice up, and he would like press some button, and it would like puff up. He wasn't like that in the movie. I don't think. Did he have like?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. Even Batman Begins was a good one, but that was almost like two different films. That was like, a big origin story, and
it was too much of an origin story. I thought. I thought it was too much. I mean, it was too much of a backstory. It was like the Rob Zombie's Halloween, too much of the beginning. It's like it's not necessary.
Right. And even Keaton's, probably the first one.
I've never seen the Jack Nicholson one.
You've never seen the '89 Batman?
I've seen the Penguin and Catwoman one.
Oh man, that's probably in the top 3. And I'm trying to like take the nostalgic out of it and all that stuff, but because probably if you watched it now, it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
But it takes along the same theme. Like it's not very cartoonish. It's very dark. It's very, realistic as opposed to cartoony. Even Batman Returns is pretty cartoonish with the Penguin and all that stuff. But I watched that one. Batman Returns the most out of all the Batman movies. That was like, I don't know how my parents let me watch that because it's got some pretty adult theme-ish things as a adult rewatch. I'm like, I can't believe I watched it. My parents let me watch it. I watched that. I would watch that movie on repeat.
Yeah,
it came on VHS.
I watched it a lot too. I liked it. I liked the Val Kilmer one, but I don't think I like. It's like I liked it at the time, but I don't think it's considered a good film.
No, I was just going to move on to that one. That's like nothing but cartoonish.
Yeah,
and I think that's what the studio wanted, a direction. They wanted to get rid of the dark and market it towards kids and toys and McDonald's Happy Meals and all that, which at the time I liked. I liked the Batman Forever. Even as a kid, I didn't like the George Clooney one. I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah, Batman and Robin with Alicia Silverstone, and then you had Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy and Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze.
Even as
terrible.
Even as a rewatch, it was like, this is horrible. Not even, but like not surprising. I should have said. The rewatch was just like I couldn't even get through it.
I think they made it for kids, like not.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I'm going back to the current one. It's hard to compare it to who are the directors of the last ones, the Ben Affleck ones? Was it Todd?
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Who's Todd Snyder? Or Todd? Wasn't there a Todd somewhere?
Todd Phillips did the Joker.
Maybe that's what it is. It's hard to compare that because they don't seem like Batman movies. They seem like Superman movies starring Batman.
Like Justice League?
Yeah, like Alien. Well, because Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
That was one. And I saw that in the theaters. I did not like it one bit. I thought it had like potential, and then once like the CGI monster came out, like I'm done. This is dumb. And then Justice League was okay in that realm, but comparable to the rest of the Batman movies, I can't compare it.
I watched the 4-hour Snyder cut and thought it was decent.
Yeah, I did too. I never saw the first one. I never saw the theater release.
Neither did I.
But I like that. I like that. It was a huge blockbuster that was tailored for streaming.
Yeah.
So it could come out in 4 parts and didn't have to worry about cutting for content. I wish that would be a great like resell. Like if Nolan did that. Like if they released like the Nolan trilogy cut where it's like they're 4 or 5 hours long each and didn't have to cut it. I think that'd be a cool watch. But I still think the Nolan films combine like the realistic aspect with like really good action without a lot of CGI.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, did they report, is there going to be a sequel? There has to be, right?
I'm sure there is.
And I feel like this also was right place, right time. This was like one of the first biggest movies that came out right as the pandemic ended. Well, pandemic's not over, but the theaters opened up, and so they lucked out. Because I thought, I could have swore that when the initial trailer or whatever ad for the Batman it was going to be on HBO Max the same day.
It is in April.
Yeah, right. But I thought they were going to release the same day, and then like as things got better, they took it. They got rid of that. I could have
Yeah,
swore I saw HBO Max same day because I'm like, oh, I'll just see it on HBO Max.
that would have been
But
great.
I'm glad I went to the theater though. I've seen every Batman movie besides the '89 Batman in the theaters. I do believe.
Okay.
Not
That's
Justice.
cool.
I didn't see Justice League, but I
Yeah.
did see I think every single one of them. So I'm glad I went. Yeah, but it was long, but it was worth it. It was worth the extra fees I had to pay because it was the Batman.
I thought there was like I forgot about the half hour previews before. Like it
Yeah.
was too many.
Yeah. Did you at least see it on a big screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
But
Theater,
honestly, I'd rather watch it on HBO Max. To be honest with
that's a good rewatch.
you. Yeah.
I don't know. As slow as it was, it would have been hard to get through it all without like whatever doing something in your house or taking a break or.
Yeah, I guess it was a good experience. I guess maybe I'm being a little
Did,
sour on the situation. I
what did
don't
you
know.
think of Commissioner Gordon?
I like that guy. He had the essence of Commissioner Gordon, and he's a good actor. He was in Boardwalk Empire. Um, I thought he was good. Why?
I thought he was good, but I'm surprised no one has made a meme about this. Every single scene, he's whispering. He's like, what do you think we're gonna do, Batman? I think he was like, why are you whispering? There's like no one around. You're outside. Yeah. Like everything was like on the nose. Like, what do you think of this, Batman? What do you think? Which is the character. I get it. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just made a note to myself, like this, like out of everything, I feel like that was the most like comic book-ish theme. Everything was a question. Everything was gonna whisper. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think this riddle means? What do you think this?
I think everyone was on par with the comic book except like probably like the Riddler. I've never seen the Riddler portrayed that way in the comic books. I've seen everyone else portrayed in those kind of aspects. The actor who portrayed Jim Gordon had the essence of Jim Gordon and the characteristics of Jim Gordon. I've seen Catwoman and like as some kind of like lady who's living, single girl living rough kind of. I don't know if I've ever seen a storyline where Falcone was her dad though. Maybe it is Falcone. I thought it was Falcone though.
I don't know. They're probably spelled the same. Yeah, as much of a Batman fan I am, I'm not familiar at all with the comics.
I just got into comics like this past year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just something to
something new to do over the world. Right. What was I gonna say? Shoot. Oh, of course there's gonna be a sequel because of course they did the Joker tease at the end.
Spoiler. Yeah, that wasn't Joaquin Phoenix.
No, or Jared Leto. So, I was hoping it'd be Jared Leto because not that the Suicide Squad, but
he sucks.
He sucked, but I liked him in that scene at the end of Justice League.
He's barely in it though. He wasn't
I know.
in it enough. I need to see more.
But I thought it was at first with the voice.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. It was just, I think they said it was a known actor or an unknown actor, but it wasn't like it wasn't like it was an actor, but it wasn't a known actor.
I don't think that actor is going to be the Joker. I don't think they're ready to pick the Joker yet. I think that's why they didn't show him. They just had the conversation.
So
I could be wrong. I know Johnny Depp wants to play the Joker.
He's too old.
I mean, he's too old.
He's too old. All these characters are they seem young to us because we're getting older, but all like the Riddler.
Joaquin Phoenix is in his 50s.
I'm talking about in this world that if they're following the comics, like the Riddler was young-ish.
He was very young. You're right. Yeah. It would make sense to make him in his 50s then, yeah.
And like Riddler, like Jim Carrey was in his 30s. Like I don't think
Jack Nicholson, I think, was in his 50s.
That's true. Probably. That's true.
Yeah.
But if this follows, was it the Killing Joke or Halloween? The Halloween.
The Long Halloween.
The Long Halloween. So is the next installment or the next not installment? The next is a sequel. Is this going to be finally going to be the one where they combine all the villains in one movie?
I don't know.
Because besides the 1966 Batman movie, no movie has had all the villains in it, like the main ones. The 66 version had all the villains in one movie.
Well, that was that was the original Bane story, was that he blew up Arkham Asylum.
Right. And they all
and then
escaped.
He had every single villain that ever existed. Batman had to go around and catch him, and he got weak every time. And then eventually Bane took him out. Like, that would be an epic movie.
Yeah.
Like, epic fucking movie.
I feel like it is as a lot of if it is a trilogy, which it probably will be, the second one will be the most action and with the most conflict, because it always has to bleed into the third movie.
Yeah. Also, the first movie, they're still like establishing everything too. If it's a trilogy, they're establishing Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, so they're taking time.
I'm glad they didn't go back too far. Like, they kind of touched upon Thomas Wayne and how everything, he was corrupt, and they did the whole corrupted backstory. And or was he? They painted him as corrupt, but was he?
I don't think you ever know. I mean, yeah, there was Falcone's version, and then there was
right,
the other version. So, or Alfred's version. So, I mean, probably somewhere in the middle. I mean, he shouldn't have told the mobster to go scare somebody. But then I guess he killed him so he could have something on him. I mean, it's a movie.
I was waiting for them to say that the guy that they killed, the reporter, was Riddler's dad. Yeah, I was waiting for that revelation, because he was an orphan. Because he was an orphan, right? He
was the Riddler and didn't die.
The years wouldn't have matched up.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I was just waiting for, like, yeah, it was my dad. Like, I was waiting when he was in the holding cell and they were talking to each other.
Yeah.
So I think I liked it. I think I'll like it better on rewatch. So
yeah.
I'm just glad that they made a good Batman movie. Like, even though critics don't mean shit and general public don't mean shit, but it does.
Yeah.
In a way, because it puts the perception, I was waiting for, like, oh, this is another terrible Batman movie, and I probably wouldn't have seen it. I would have seen it at some point. I may have not have gone to the theaters. Oh, there was a big action scene. That Batmobile scene was pretty high action.
Yeah.
That was
chasing the Penguin.
Yeah. Yeah, all that, and then, like, I don't know, it was kind of like not uneventful, but all that damage and destruction, like, they just put them up against the bypass or wherever they were at. I don't know where they were at, and then they left them there.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was good.
I think the consensus is it's good too. I don't see people like backlash about it or anything. Do you?
The websites that make lists, it's not the top, but it's near the top, which like I said, I agree with. I agree with before. I said, like, when I walked out, that's always my thing. Does it top The Dark Knight? And in my opinion, it didn't. And a lot of other people's opinion, it didn't. I feel like the Dark Knight would be impossible to touch if Christian Bale didn't have the stupid Batman voice. It's a flawless movie until then.
I would say it did not top The Dark Knight, but it came pretty close.
Yeah.
It's good enough for me.
Yeah. Yep. And she's probably 5 years away, but I will enjoy the sequel for sure.
Yeah, hopefully sooner than that. Hopefully they get it out soon.
Yeah.